Good morning. Today is the lesson for September 19th, 2021, Proper 21. I'm titling today, Reworking the Standard. Now the lectionary readings for today are Psalm 1, Psalm 54, Proverbs 31, 10 through 31, Jeremiah 11, 18 through 20, Mark 9, 30 through 37, and James 3, 13 through 4, 3, and then 4, 7, and 8. Now, when I was young, June Cleaver was already a trite image. I much preferred Lucille Ball. Later, we had suburban mothers, the supermoms of the 80s and 90s, and they were replaced by anti-heroines of the reality TV episodes of the first part of this century. Now, I've always had a problem with this Proverbs passage. Apparently, you have to be wealthy to be virtuous. But maybe not. I don't think that's really the whole point. More of the world has been part of the have-not portion of society, and surely being virtuous isn't dependent on possessions. Other than that, this passage is still unattainable by most people. For instance, this virtuous woman tends to work 24 hours a day. Most of us can't do that. And what about guys? Can't they be virtuous too? What about folks who never got married? Do you have to be married to be virtuous? So what I've done today is to paraphrase it a bit. People do this to the Bible all the time and apply it to conditions nowadays and expand most of the gender-specific references to cross-gender references, but I've kept the feminine pronouns just for simplicity of language. Let's see how it works. Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. One Bible actually said a woman's proper place, so that bothered me too. So that was the editor's though. So who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Now, who can find a virtuous person? How can you value a person? The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. In her relations, she is sure. They share trust. With that trust, neither has to resort to unfair practices. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She does good, does not belittle and pester friends, family, or chance-met strangers. She seeketh wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. Oh, women do this all the time nowadays, right? Anyway, she seeks wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She keeps busy and works with what she has, just like everybody else, but maybe a little bit more. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises while it is. She manages to make something out of very little and brings it home from where she finds it. She riseth also while it is yet night and gives meat to her husband and a portion to her maidens. She gets up early, doing stuff, and goes to bed late because she's doing stuff. She does not forget those who help her, supporting them like they support her. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. She does not let legal hurdles or social hurdles keep her from her goals. Got to remember that back when this was written, a woman really might not have even had a right to buy a field. But she does not let legal hurdles or social hurdles keep her from her goals. She out-entrepreneurs the executives of the big company. She starts things, she nourishes things, she sees her jobs through without abandoning them in the middle. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. Well, sometimes she has to work to keep her own energy up, but she does maintain herself constantly. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out at night. She is enthusiastic about what she has done, what she is going to do, and what she will do. Well, I rewrote that. She is enthusiastic about what she has done, what she is doing, and what she will do. She lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She is not afraid to work, to do hard or lowly things. She knows that it's the little things that make all the big things. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She giveth away things without expecting reimbursement, because the needs out there are really, really great. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She and her family are ready for the crises that will happen. They're ready for the flood, the fire, the storm, the pandemic, and the economic instabilities. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Whether she's wearing rags or fancy threads, she wears it proudly, and it keeps her warm. Her husband is known in the gates when he's sitting among the elders of the land. Her spouse is supported by her, and he supports her in turn. She makes fine linen and sells it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. When she makes a deal, others trust her. They trust her fairness and ability to keep everybody honest. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Her reputation might as well be something she puts on. It doesn't really matter what she wears. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is a law of kindness. And when she talks, now how many of people can say this about themselves? When she talks, others listen. She speaks kindly. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. She never gets bored. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Her children are happy to be seen with her. They're not embarrassed when they see her in public. They love her like she loves them, and her spouse is still in love with her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. There are good people out there, and even great people, but you are the best. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Good looks are one thing. It disappears. Goodness is long-lasting. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Let the virtuous person get what she deserves. And most of us hopefully won't get what we deserve, because most of us aren't that cool. We just muddle along and try to be okay. I want you to know that God can bless you whatever you do, whatever you set your hand to do. God can bless you. And you don't have to be a superwoman or a superman or a supermom or a super dad to be the best. You can be what God wants you to be. With that, have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.